Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about this idea that, you know, happiness is something that's not for you. Maybe that thought has come into your head that maybe you're not somebody that's meant to have, certain material resources or benefits, or even, some of the luxuries that we can experience on this life. I think a lot of the joy that comes out of the simple things starts with taking care of yourself. And a lot of people don't take care of themselves, especially in the US nowadays. And you wonder, like, you look at them from the outside, and it's like kind of obvious that, these sort of physical concerns are really impacting them mentally and emotionally. And so, what kinds of problems do we see? You see obviously addiction, that's a big one. You see obesity, gluttony, people that are trapped by their phones, by social media, and a number of other things. And it's not even just in the vice territory, these are kind of full blown, holes that people fall into that kind of just consume them. It's like a singularity. And unfortunately, a lot of people have these habits and tendencies to depend on those types of things, the aforementioned vices, you might call them. And it can create a lot of room to spiral downwards, because when you don't prioritize your physical health, when you don't take care of your body, you don't put in quality food, you don't sleep, you don't, even on a mental level, you don't put good thoughts into your head. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that, yes, it is you that chooses what types of thoughts go through your head, Now, I'm not saying that you can control every single, like, wavelength that flows through your being. It's just like the type of, energy that you put out there ultimately is what starts in your mind. And if you surround yourself with negativity, you're going to produce more negativity as a result. Therefore, you are kind of directly implicating yourself in that process of, response, and creating that negative feedback loop that is going to affect your physical reality. So, all that to say that you do gotta be careful, and you do need to pay attention to how you feel, and you should try to, allow your body to, signal you when it's time to make a change. If you're somebody that is severely overweight, that doesn't exercise, and, you can hardly run a minute without stopping, I'm sorry, but there's really no excuse for that. So nobody has to be a pro athlete, but at the end of the day, I think Socrates said it, or somebody said it. I saw it in a quote recently, but it's just that, like, what greater gift could you possibly have than this body? Not just the existence itself, obviously, that's kind of inherent, but like the virtues of just being able to move and being able to, like, jump and run and all these things. And a lot of people lose them throughout their life because they don't take care of themselves. And by the time they're 30, 40, they're already done. They don't run again, unless they have to get out of a bad situation, and they're smoking themselves to death. They're puffing on vapes, they're drinking every weekend, and it's just like, damn, you know? I'm not trying to say like your body is like a sanctified temple necessarily, but I do feel like it does start there. And you know, for people that are complaining about depression and all these things that they can't get out of, they're stuck. And those people are always stuck. Always. Anytime you come back to them, it's the same thing. Always, you know, complaining about how this person's not cutting them a break, or this person's making it hard for them, or this person did this, or, you know, but those types of people also, they're not doing little things, you know? They're not stretching to improve, you know, their mobility. They're not, you know, doing little brain exercises to improve their sharpness. You know, I mean, these are just little things you could do. It's not necessarily one thing. It's just a mentality that you can have, that you are going to participate in those, you know, key areas that are going to strengthen, you know, your body and minds. And so that's kind of the point, is just about strengthening. You know, as you age, ostensibly you get weaker, ostensibly you deteriorate, but that doesn't have to be the case. You know, why do you have monks that are 50, 60 years old that are still so strong and durable? It's just that they've trained their body and mind to perform in a certain way, and consistently have, you know, measured up to the task that they have decided to put in front of themselves. And if you don't place a task, if you don't place anything in front of you, you can't measure up to anything, you know? You're just gonna be whatever it is that you think you are, because there's nothing in front of you except for, you know, despair. So, you know, if you're somebody that's complaining about that, then stop it, because nobody wants to hear that, and you're not doing anybody a favor by, you know, talking to yourself that way, or even talking about the world that way, because it might suck sometimes, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do to move forward and to get better. And life is all about those things, you know, progress, move forward, continue. So don't be stagnant, don't complain, you know, sharpen up and look forward to whatever's coming next, because there's many opportunities to go somewhere. Even if you don't know exactly where that is, just don't stay still, you know? And don't be somebody who always, you know, talk themselves down or out of what they could have been, or what they should be. So, that being said, that's all I got to say for this video. Hope you like it, and if you fuck with what I say, then consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one. So, peace.